Oh, to be a bee. Bees are wonderful insects that pollinate most of the flowers that grow into our cultivated food. This literally means that bees directly produce 80% of our food, which is quite amazing. If we ask you to imagine a bee, you may be thinking of honeybees. This is a common misconception that all bees produce honey. However, only honeybees produce honey. Surprisingly, only 4%, that's 4 out of every 100 bees, of the world's total bee population are honeybees or social bees, and the remaining live as solitary bees. Many bees look very similar to honeybees, while others look rather similar to wasps or even flies. Let's take a look at the secret life of a solitary bee. Let's dive into the life of one of the Nomia, a type of sweet bee. The winters have waned, and the little creature inside the pipe hole finally feels the first warmth after a harsh, cold winter. She moves and shakes inside her cocoon and finally cracks it open, emerging out of the casing. As lazy as one can get, she crawls her way out and rubs her eyes. She waits for some time and then flies out into the world to explore. She is a solitary bee as she hovers above to drink the sweet sugary nectar from flowers, a humble gift indeed by the plant. As the day dies down and night approaches, she finds shelter under a flower or grass stalks to spend the long weary night. As the new day turns in and the first light touches the ground, the little creature wakes up and begins its chores. But something is amiss. A he-bee is following her around and trying to impress her with constant loud buzzes and weird dances. She is a mother now and is searching for a place to raise her children. The male bee has no place in her life now. A hole is the perfect shelter to raise her young. She digs holes with numerous compartments and lays the eggs. After this, she goes out in search of leaves and pollen for the larvae and stuffs them into the holes. When the larvae break out of the eggs, they feast upon the food that their mother has left for them. They sleep and eat until the day comes when they shed their skin and make a hard cocoon around them. Later, the cocoon will crack and a new bee will emerge. A new star will be born. The role of bees. Bees help in pollination, a process by which flowers turn into fruits and provide us with food. Hence, bees are very important for our survival. Without our wonderful bees, there would be no flowers, and without flowers, there would be no bees. It is truly a cycle that helps maintain life on planet Earth. But did you know that bees are in danger? How often do you spot bees, either solitary or social, in your garden or neighborhood? And how often do you spot bees that are not honeybees? Ask your grandparents the same question. You might get two different answers. Bees are in a grave situation now, especially solitary bees. But why is this the case? Look around for some clues and you might get a sense why some areas have more pollinators and some don't. Scientists estimate that we may have lost a quarter of wild bee species, which is very sad. There are several reasons today that are causing bees to disappear. Firstly, when we increase the production of honey, we generally increase the population of domestic bees, which exponentially increases the population of honeybees in an area, thus decreasing the availability of wildflowers, nectar, and pollen for wild bees. Secondly, agricultural practices like using insecticides, which are chemicals that kill insects, cause a lot of harms to bees by poisoning them. Also, in some regions, farmers use a lot of water to water their crops, which disturbs the egg-laying habits of solitary bees and sometimes drowns the larvae too. The next reason, which you can probably spot around you, is removal of wildflowers from gardens, backyards, or farms, which decreases the suitable nectar sources for bees. So what can we do to protect these beautiful creatures? We first need to educate ourselves, our parents, farmers, and gardeners about the importance of bees in our lives. Conserving bees is a simple act of giving bees a shelter and providing them with a pasture of flowers. But this term is not as simple as it seems, because we need to protect the right types of bees, the native bees that belong to our region. We should promote the use of local honey brands because they most probably use wild honeybees to produce honey. A fantastic way of conserving bees and attracting them to your neighborhood is to create a bee hotel. Yes, you're right in asking, what on earth is a bee hotel? Let's tell you that. Bee hotels are handmade homes for solitary bees. They are easy to make and provide a good home for bees. All that you need is some discarded wood or dry bamboo pieces, like pipes, of about 2 millimeters to 10 millimeters in diameter, and a good sturdy wooden frame of about 5 to 7 centimeters width. Next, stack all the pipes in the frame to create a structure that has holes between two pipes. Now bring in some dry grass and fill the gaps which are bigger than the holes of the pipes. Now find a place close to a wildflower patch and also remaining cool and having a water source with enough sunshine in the area. If you cannot find such an area, get your hands dirty and plant some wild native flower species, keeping in mind that they attract bees, and also don't forget to keep a small watering bowl. A good place should have lots of flowers, proper sunshine, and water. The bee hotel should be placed in a shady place, a little high off the ground and away from a windy area. Very soon, you'll start observing bees, butterflies, and other insects coming to your pollinator patch and bee hotel. Let's get started.